Did you know Billy Graham was woke? He was. Let me show you.
I don't think anyone can read the story of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and know anything about crucifixion that it doesn't move your heart. Because crucifixion was the most cruel and the most terrible form of execution. And we get the picture. They take Jesus out of the dungeon, out of the jail. He's already been condemned to death. They couldn't find any charges that would stick. False witnesses had been brought and testified against him. And now we find Jesus being dragged out of the jail, his clothes taken off of him, a long leather whip with steel pellets on the end is wrapped around his body time after time until his back is bleeding. Then laughingly and jeeringly they put a crown of thorns on his brow and his head bleeds. They jerk at his beard until his face is bleeding. His visage is so marred that they cannot hardly recognize him. And two thieves, two robbers, two people that deserve to die are brought out with him. And on their backs are placed their own crosses. And they start that long march toward a hill called Calvary. And on the way, Jesus, tired, weakened from the loss of blood and the beating, falls and stumbles. And finally he lies on the ground, and they compelled an African, a black man, to come and pick up the cross and carry it for him. And don't ever forget it.
Where in God's name do we find that in Scripture anywhere? Why? Oh, we find that God, a black man. Where do you find that in the Bible? Why does everything got to be so about color? Why do we have to, add things and try to be this woke, like, oh, well, we want to appeal to the masses. That's not what it says. And to try to put something in there that's not there is just ridiculous. But even back then, we find that even Billy Graham had to cater and kowtow to the liberals. Had to throw it in there to make, the marginalized population feel good about themselves. And it's just not true. It's also not true that Jesus fell down. We don't see that in Scripture anywhere. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that Jesus fell down. So we've got two problems here, but, I don't really care much about, I don't like the whole idea of Jesus falling down thing because people use it as